Tuesday, the violent group Antifa tweeted out identities and locations of over 1,500 immigration and customs agents, and not to send them Christmas cards. This is called doxing, when you spread someone's personal info so others can harass them. The justification, clearly, these agents are evil, so why not? Are you surprised? Not when the media's loudest voices describe America as the Third Reich, making these agents the stormtroopers. Soldad O'Brien just tweeted, "I guess we put to rest the question, Nazi Germany, could it happen here in America?" On Twitter, actor Peter Fonda, do you remember him? Barely. Instructed the world to target the agents by surrounding their kids' schools and scaring the F out of them. Fonda also called for kidnapping Barron Trump to be put in a cage with pedophiles. That tweet got over 1,000 likes. He also called for Kristen Nielsen to be stripped naked and whipped. That got nearly 700 likes. Viva the resistance. So outrage minus any solution creates a bloodthirst, targeting Americans trying to solve a problem that the loudest voices never cared about until now. But a simple Google search going a few years back will find terrible tales of child sex and labor trafficking, smugglers tricking kids into a life of enslavement. Is that the alternative you'd want for 125,000 unaccompanied minors who've come to America since 2011 from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador? I got that stat from a Washington Post 2016 article when President Obama was in charge, back when Peter Fonda and the rest didn't seem to mind. All right, since I wrote that beautiful monologue, thank you very much, America. Peter Fonda has since apologized, claiming about the Barron Trump thing. I went too far, it was wrong, and I should have done it. I believe he issued an apology because the Secret Service contacted him because he had broken a series of laws for threatening a family member of the president with kidnapping, number one, and bodily harm, which is, he was insinuating rape. Raping the child.
Yeah. I mean, when the left is comparing Republicans to Nazis, yet they're the ones that are fantasizing about child rape, assassinations, and beheadings, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And to, remember Jane Fonda? Jane Fonda posed on the top of North Vietnamese tanks, and then Peter said, "Hold my beer."
Yes, exactly.
Watch what I do to the president's son. The whole thing's sickening, and I know we talked about this before, but the left and the media, they threw a tantrum. They threw a tantrum, offered no solutions, and when the person came in and created a solution, they still don't know what to do with themselves. They're going to go on to the next disaster and try to call the next person Hitler or call the next person Nazi. It doesn't matter what this president does. They did it with the travel ban. They did it almost every policy. He's been compared to Hitler. I'm just curious to see what's going to be next.
And they eliminated any positive feedback for North Korea. Kimberly, it strikes me as strange that the same people who resent calling MS-13 animals have no problem calling people stormtroopers and Nazis.
No, I know, and I just want to address the Peter Fonda issue. I think it's particularly repulsive. It's reprehensible. I don't care that he apologized. Sorry isn't good enough. To say that a 12-year-old boy should be put in a cage with pedophiles so that he could be raped is absolutely disgusting. And this is an individual. It's just vile to even see his picture there. To say that to a child, I'm a mother of an 11-year-old, and for someone to say that for another child, for that to happen to them, it's really sickening when you see the level of depravity of the left when they behave, and Hollywood, in a way like this, to the point where Melania Trump had to call Secret Service to make sure to get this investigated because it's a real threat. When people see stuff like this, it's dangerous for a child to say something. I had this happen, Greg, when I had people going viral, when I had this whole Snoop Dogg and Bow Wow thing.
Right.
And people came after my son, who's 11, and did the exact same thing. And it was horrific. And this has to stop. And it's grossly irresponsible. And I don't even know why Sony would ever even put a movie out with a guy like this in it. He should literally never work again. Why would they?
Oh, I don't know.
There should be some consequences.
There'll be people in Hollywood who will see him as a hero.
Maybe Michael Moore.
The same, yeah, exactly. You might get a TV show out of it, Katie. Yeah. Is he still on Twitter, by the way?
I haven't checked.
Because
I did notice he deleted those
tweets.
Yes.
Because I went to try and find them, and I couldn't find them.
Well, because underneath it, then there was all these calls for other members of the Trump family and for children, and they're going to come for that child. And, this is the problem with the environment and dangerous environment it creates.
Yeah, it's the initial statement, which he made, and I think he actually meant it. And then the mob that came to back him up on the statement is, I think, even more terrifying than the initial thing of what he said. This is a guy who has praised Roman Polanski, so I guess I'm not surprised this would be something that he would want to say. But this doesn't bring us any closer to a real solution about people's lives who are in danger, whether it's people in America whose families have been ripped apart by illegal immigration crime through drunk driving or murder, or whether it's parents who have sent their kids up with smugglers to the border through this harrowing journey, who are now stuck in this place where they don't know where they're going to go. Are they going to be put into a labor situation where they owe a smuggler a labor debt, because that is a real thing? We don't know. And so this kind of language is horrific. It's awful. It has real life consequences. Yes. And there are people's lives right now, today, who depend on real solutions coming from Washington, D.C. and their local communities. And this guy isn't doing anything but making the situation worse.
Juan, I'm not even going to ask you to defend this. I know you found it disgusting.
No, I mean, to me, it was a poorly worded tweet, offensive language used. But what strikes me from this very conversation is you guys delight in it because, again, it takes away from the fact.
Delight in it? No.
Yeah, you delight in it because it takes away from the conversation focusing on what President Trump did that is antithetical to American values,
so
to
that
family
justifies
values, to separating a 4-year-old, imagine, 4-year-old, in bed,
now
not
you're
knowing
diverting
where his or her parents are, and you're saying, oh, well, that's not the issue. The issue is some Hollywood celebrity acting like a fool. What's the foolishness is people are saying the president did something here, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, that is just abhorrent
and
to
that
who we are as
justifies
an
this
American
behavior.
people.
Yes,
Got it. Got it.
No, I didn't say it justifies.
You definitely are defending it.
No, what I said was you're delighting in it because it gives you an opportunity to change the conversation.
It's my job to write monologues.
What is the
and the left was delighting in this story because to distract from IG and Singapore summit.
I want to take issue with
the team sports stuff, but this is the reality.
This isn't team sports. This is about the safety and protection of children.
Yes, it is, and that's why the president's policy is so unpopular.
What Peter Fonda did is indefensible, and there are two totally separate...
Nobody's defending it, but why celebrate?
You said it was just poorly worded. It
was
a criminal sexual act by sexual predator.
I guess Mein Kampf is poorly worded.
Child. That's
no,
not,
this is
that's
to
not
me.
poorly
This is
worded.
not the issue.
All right.
But you choose to focus on it because it gets you away.
Yeah, that's
from
it.
Your own
You're mind
No,
reading,
you
Juan.
said it was
You're mind
poorly
reading
worded.
again. Get your crystal ball. That's not what I'm thinking.